Congress dilemma over Karnataka Chief Minister continues. Sources say decision on next Chief Minister likely on Wednesday. Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar asked to stay back in Delhi. After losing the only southern bastion, outgoing Chief Minister Bommai says Congress more organized and started early. BJP took decision late, acted late. We need to learn lessons, need to start preparing early for Lok Sabha polls. Indian Air Force C-17 Globemaster stuck at Leh runway. All flights were cancelled from the Leh airport. 20 people have died in the spurious liquor tragedy in Tamil Nadu. Police have denied any illicit liquor that could have caused the death. Ditch non-sugar sweeteners, says WHO. We explain why. Hello, I'm Sneha Koshi. The big story that we have been tracking is who will be the next Chief Minister of Karnataka. The answer does not seem very easy for the Congress, at least at this point. The suspense over Karnataka Chief Minister's post after the Congress's emphatic victory continues to play out. Several rounds of meetings through the day were inconclusive. Mr. Kharge is trying to strike a balance on another round of meeting that will be held on Wednesday. According to sources, both DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah have been asked to stay back. Mr. Shivakumar, who earlier made it clear that he would not back down in the tense rivalry with Siddaramaiah, is understood to have told Mr. Kharge that he is ready to work as an quote-unquote ordinary MLA if he does not get the Chief Minister's post. Though he presented his case for the top post, he also pointed out that Mr. Kharge himself, despite his stature and position, never became a Chief Minister. And sources have confirmed that DK Shivakumar has not been told that Siddaramaiah will be the Chief Minister. In fact, Siddaramaiah later on has gone and called on other top leaders like Randeep Surjewala as well as KC Venugopal. Of course, the countdown has now begun. The final decision from the Congress on who will be the Chief Minister of Karnataka likely on Wednesday. And after losing the only southern bastion, Karnataka's Chief Minister, that outgoing Chief Minister Bommai, has in fact gone on to tell in an exclusive with NDTV, Congress was more organized, started early. BJP took decision late and acted late. But Mr. Bommai has also said that the focus now is on the Lok Sabha elections and that they need to start preparing early on. Let's listen in.
Joining me now is outgoing Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. Basavaraj Bommai, who led the Bharatiya Janata Party's campaign from the front. Well, a disappointing defeat for him. But, sir, what is perhaps the lesson that you learned from this, personally and politically, from the results?
See, basically, the people were swayed away by freebies, number one. Number two, personally, I feel that Congress were more organized and started earlier, which otherwise BJP used to do. And we took our decisions little late. And the campaign, the narration, which were we are supposed to be in the forefront, we could not. So the right messaging didn't go to the people. And our programs, even though they reached, the narration should have been set in. Some of our major decisions were also not reached the people. However, it was a hard-fought battle, and if you look into the vote shares, there is no much difference. But it didn't convert us the seats. And the second major factor is that our penetration in southern Karnataka helped Congress, where JDS had a strong hold, and we were able to penetrate most of the JDS areas, which helped the Congress otherwise. 5% of JDS shifted to Congress. So these two factors really helped Congress.
So going forward, as BJP prepares to be an opposition party, what do you think are the core lessons for the party? One of the reasons why I'm asking you this question is that there was a sense that there were many different decision makers in the BJP in these elections. One set from Delhi, there was pressures from several state leaders. Is there one person above all that you believe, I know you've taken responsibility, one person above all you think is responsible for the defeat and perhaps something the party needs to change as it goes forward?
As you yourself said, I had led it from the front. And I take the entire blame. I don't want to blame any other person. Whatever might have happened, but ultimately the leader has to take a blame. Then only things can move on, improve. We have to recognize our mistakes, do the course correction, and we have to go forward. The major thing is that we have to do the party, prepare it quite early for Lok Sabha, and then we have to bring in some new blood and new thinking at all levels, and we have to regenerate our workers, and probably within next 3 to 6 months things will be changing and will favoring us, and especially it's a Lok Sabha election, and it will be Prime Minister at the helm of affairs, and without any much leader of credibility in the opposition will also play an important role. But however, to convert that goodwill into this thing, we have to learn a lessons from assembly, start it early, more well-oiled party machinery, and with all full steam and full commitment, you have to go ahead.
What about the leader of opposition's post? Now that's going to be the next pick, this one. Do you see that for yourself? How do you see this? How do you see BJP as an opposition party now?
See, as a responsible man, I don't go by the post. Whether the leader of opposition is given to me or somebody else. The overall responsibility is on me. I'm being a chief minister for nearly almost 2 years and given so many good programs. It is for me to take it up once again to the people, and I am sure people of Karnataka have been making a difference between Lok Sabha and this state elections. When Ramakrishna lost in 83, 84, we came back. In 2013, we lost much badly than this. We came back in 2014. So we are expecting that we will come back in 2014. Whatever the role will be given by the party, otherwise also, I'll take up a lot of responsibility and I'll go to the people.
And at least 20 people have been killed in the spurious liquor tragedy that unfolded in Chennai on Monday. People say deaths have been due to police say that deaths have been due to consumption of industrial ethanol based on forensic reports and have denied that illicit liquor was the cause of death. In fact, Tamil Nadu police has claimed that ethanol allegedly was supplied by a man in Puducherry. It's time for a short break. On the other side, we'll bring you all the latest, including when the new parliament building is likely to be inaugurated. Welcome back. And India's new parliament building is likely to be inaugurated later this month by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, according to sources, most likely in the last week of May, to mark 9 years of his government. The 9-year celebrations of Modi government are expected to begin with a bang. India's new parliament building, built at a cost of 970 crore rupees, is almost ready and is likely to be symbolically inaugurated later this month by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The building is likely to be used only in a few months. Apart from new projects, the 9-year celebrations are also focusing on old promises, including the emotive issue of government jobs for youth.
3-4 वर्षों में ही भारत में 80,000 करोड़ रुपए के सामान का एक्सपोर्ट करने लगेगी। हमारे जो युवा लॉजिस्टिक्स और सप्लाई चेन सेक्टर में काम करना चाहते हैं, ये इनके लिए बहुत बड़ी खबर है। सिस्को के सीईओ ने भी अपनी भारत यात्रा के दौरान मुझे बताया कि वो भारत में बने 8,000 करोड़ रुपए के प्रोडक्ट्स के एक्सपोर्ट का लक्ष्य लेकर चल रहे हैं.
The Prime Minister will also launch a month-long contact program starting May 30th with 2 back-to-back rallies. Public meetings by BJP ministers and MPs will then be held in 396 Lok Sabha seats. With Megha Prasad, Sneha Koshi for NDTV. And Srinagar city resembles a fortress ahead of the G20 meet, which is scheduled to take place next week, starting May 22nd. Srinagar is going to host more than 200 delegates for 3 days, and to ensure no sleeping module is activated by Pakistan. NIA has been conducting searches in the valley, especially in South Kashmir. 70 raids have been conducted in just a fortnight of this month.
Security in Kashmir is at its highest alert level, with Srinagar scheduled to host a crucial meeting of the G20 Working Group on Tourism from the 22nd to the 25th of May. To keep everyone safe, security forces have put together what they say is an impregnable security grid, with the National Investigating Agency carrying out searches for terrorist sympathizers. There have been 70 search operations this month alone. The National Investigating Agency is looking into concerns that terrorist sympathizers were acting as couriers and may be transporting explosives, including magnetic bombs. The NIA believes that Pakistan has activated as many as 30 foreign terrorists who have been hiding in the valley for a year. Radio intercepts indicate that Pakistani terrorist handlers may be using encrypted messages to communicate. More than a dozen mobile messenger apps used by Pakistani handlers have been banned this month. The summit in Srinagar would be Jammu and Kashmir's first major international event in years and a key part of India's G20 plans. As many as 200 delegates are expected to be a part of it. With Neeta Sharma in New Delhi, Anusuya Mathur for NDTV.
And the biggest narcotic drug seizure ever in the country has all the markings of a spy thriller. A 3-month operation with actionable intelligence inputs and multiple agencies' teams that stayed at sea for 40 days to track down a mothership carrying huge consignment of contraband made in Afghanistan, loaded on the Makran coast and intercepted at the Death Crescent by the Indian Navy. The mothership is suspected to have sunk, but a speedboat with a Pakistani carrying 2.5 tons of high-value narcotics worth several thousand crores was seized. Uma Sudhir has all the gripping details.
134 bags containing 2,525 kg of methamphetamine has been seized in a joint operation of the Narcotics Control Bureau and Indian Navy from a mothership off the Kochi coast on Saturday. This is the biggest narcotic drug seizure in India. The highly addictive recreational drug is said to be in its purest crystal form and has been valued at 15,000 crore rupees.
पहली बार ऐसा हुआ है कि हमने मदरशिप को पकड़ा है और मदरशिप बिकॉज़ ये मदरशिप जो है वो बहुत बड़ा लोड लेकर ड्रग का लोड लेकर चलती है करीब 2 टन 3 टन 4 टन ड्रग निकलता है.
A 29-year-old Pakistani national suspected to be part of Pakistan's notorious Haji Salim drug cartel has been arrested. The contraband was meant for supply to India, Sri Lanka, Maldives and possibly even Australia. This is the third major seizure after the launch of Operation Samudragupta in January 2022 to combat narcotic drug smuggling over the Indian Ocean region that poses a national threat, as well as drug money is known to fund agencies like ISI and terror activities. The danger originates in the Golden Crescent, also called the Danger Crescent, Iran, Afghanistan and Pakistan, from where through maritime and other routes the drug comes to India. The coast of Tamil Nadu and Kerala particularly vulnerable, from where it can move to Sri Lanka and Maldives and then the rest of the world. The modus operandi is that drugs are manufactured in Afghanistan and brought to Pakistan and are subsequently loaded from ports of Pakistan or Iran. So far, 3,200 kg of methamphetamine, 500 kg of heroin, 529 kg of hashish valued at over 40,000 crore rupees has been seized. As part of India's leadership in maritime security of region, intelligence inputs shared with Sri Lanka and Maldives have also resulted in seizures. With Mukesh Singh Singar, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
And following reports of substandard Indian drugs causing deaths, concerns and even deaths in countries like the US, now samples of all India-made drugs will be tested at the regional or central drug testing lab before sending them abroad.
In what could be a milestone for drug regulation in India, indigenously manufactured medicines may now be tested centrally before getting exported. Sources say the Health Ministry is planning a blanket test for Indian drugs meant for consumption abroad. The government is now likely to put privately manufactured drugs through a quality check in its central and regional testing labs.
I welcome the step of the government to check the quality of the goods before exporting it to other countries. So government is going in the right direction to think of setting some standards of exporting the goods and medicines, and thereafter will be further enhanced the faith in the Indian manufacturing pharma industry.
This comes amid a string of scandals abroad involving what they called toxic Indian drugs. In two of these cases, foreign drug regulators found the presence of lethal contaminant ethylene glycol, raising questions on drug standards in India.
में और ज्यादा कोऑर्डिनेशन की जरूरत है आपस में कि स्टेट और सेंट्रल आपस में कोऑर्डिनेट करें कि जो लास्ट में कभी इंसिडेंट्स आए तो वो फ्यूचर में नहीं आए.
The recent controversies involving the Indian pharmaceutical industry have not been too good for India's image as one of the world's largest suppliers of generic medicine. India's bid to centralize drug quality control, if implemented well, is certainly a welcome one to boost trust in Indian drugs in the global market. In New Delhi with camera person Xavier Thomas, Vedant for NDTV.
And a political blame game has broken out over the blast at an illegal cracker factory in Igra in South Midnapur district of West Bengal, with the opposition, BJP and the ruling TMC taking pot shots at each other over the incident. 7 people have lost their lives in the blast. BJP has demanded for an NIA probe.
A huge explosion in Shahara Gram Panchayat at an illegal firecracker manufacturing unit in West Bengal's Igra in East Midnapur district. 7 people died and several others were injured in the blast. The explosion was so intense that the factory collapsed with bodies strewn around the compound. Locals who worked at the factory lost their lives, leading to anger against the police. The incident sparked off a political blame game between the opposition BJP and the ruling Trinamool. The BJP targeted Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and demanded an NIA probe as the Chief Minister hit back, saying the panchayat was controlled by the BJP and its top leader was from the district.
The only industry right now in West Bengal is of bomb and ammunitions and, all these kind of things. A few days back we have seen in Mednipur, we have seen previously also in Khagragod, we have seen in Asansol in my assembly. These kind of bomb factories are there.
Because of the Trinamool Congress, he was arrested. And now that panchayat, few days ago, they have purchased this panchayat BJP and they have elected someone independent as a BJP panchayat. So these 2 months, our panchayat is also not there. Only BJP is there. So tell them not to do the politics. Tell them to do NIA or whatever. CBI, ED, whatever the agency they have. We don't have any objection.
The police say the owner of the illegal factory had been arrested earlier but was out on bail.
আমাদের কাছে যে খবর আছে মানে সিআইডি মানে ইনভেস্টিগেশন টেক ওভার করতে পারবে.
The police suspect the owner of the illegal firecracker unit has escaped to neighboring Odisha after the incident. The government has announced compensation for those who've been affected by the incident. But the political blame game around the incident is likely to be centered around the upcoming panchayat polls in West Bengal. With camera person GD Shankar in Kolkata, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
And the telecom department has rolled out a nationwide tracking system to block and track lost or stolen mobile phones across India. This portal, called Sanchar Sathi portal, allows users to trace lost or stolen devices so they can be blocked across all telecom networks. The portal also provides help with users access their SIM card numbers and block unauthorized usage. This allows owners to take immediate action if their SIM card is being misused by someone else.
आप देखो फ्रॉडस्टर्स क्या करते हैं. फ्रॉडस्टर्स एक आइडेंटिटी लेते हैं और उसमें अलग-अलग फोटो लगा लेते हैं. किसी का भी फोटो लगा लिया. फ्रॉडस्टर्स में दो बड़े टेक्निक्स होते हैं. किसी और की आइडेंटिटी यूज करके कनेक्शन लेना और दूसरा आइडेंटिटी एक देनी और फोटो किसी और का देना. तो उस केस में ये आपके सामने एक एग्जांपल पेश किया गया है जिसमें एक व्यक्ति अलग अलग फोटो लगा के कनेक्शंस लेता है और उसके बाद में उस कनेक्शन से फ्रॉड करने की कोशिश करता है. इसको प्रिवेंट करने के लिए अस्त्र बनाया गया है और अभी तक इसका रिजल्ट 87 करोड़ मोबाइल फोन्स पे इसको AI algorithm has been run by so far. The results are phenomenal. 40 lakh fraud connections have been identified. Out of that, 36 lakh connections have been disconnected. Of course, a very detailed procedure is followed before disconnecting. Law enforcement agencies have been onboarded for this. 36 lakh connections have been disconnected. और friends, आपको जानकर आश्चर्य होगा, कुछ तो ऐसे अस्त्र ने डिटेक्शन किए जहां पर एक व्यक्ति ने 5200 कनेक्शंस लिए.